I've been working on the podcast all the live long day.
Well, mostly just the morning.
Okay, sure, that.
Welcome to our podcast today.
So today in the podcast, we talk about Nikki's problem.
Yes. I don't remember what it was, but...
Well, I mean, there's a couple.
It
was a test. See if you can figure out what it was. But I think you'll appreciate it as much as I did. Wow Airlines, churro donuts, suing TGI Fridays, new Borderlands game, Disney and why they hate you, Garfield phones, and candy. And old movies. You put that in there? I did throw the old movie discussion in the podcast. I think that's good. That way, if you guys have any suggestions when you hear us get to that topic, you can always text us or email us. You text 877 to RadioU. Doesn't mean we're in at that time you're texting, but we will get it eventually. Or you can email riot@radiou.com if you have any suggestions for Obi. I don't want to be weird about it. Can we just go to sleep now? You want to go lay on the floor? Yeah, is that wrong? Is it wrong? So starting next week for Radio U, we'll be doing our Radio U Spring Fundraiser. So we'll have... Stop it. He knows. So we will have work to do. We will have our podcast during the fundraiser. They'll just be a little bit shorter because we're mostly fundraising on air. So just, be aware that's coming. And last fall when we had our last fundraiser, we had so many amazing podcast supporters because without Radio U, we wouldn't have the Riot, we wouldn't have the podcast. So if you're interested in helping to donate, take some time and check out RadioU.com. You'll see the donate stuff everywhere and think about helping our podcast. So please, please, please do that. RadioU.com, click on donate. You can go ahead and get in early. And here's the thing, you can give as much as you want. If you want to go big, go big. But even if you're a podcast listener and you just throw some, just do something that would be appreciated. And throw it in the comments, say that you're a podcast listener. And that way we know you're thanks. There. Yeah. So thanks again, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Bye.
What's worse than finding grounds in your coffee? Finding grounds in your coffee while listening to the Riot. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
So as a result of the fundraiser next week, Nikki and I had to go into a meeting yesterday in which we went over material that we had already been over 3 or 4 times, but this time we were doing it for the cameras. And this is for everybody else. Here's the thing. Nikki's been getting up and going to the gym every morning this week, and she's been pretty tired. Dude, I just wish that you guys could have been there. Because about 45 minutes into this 1-hour meeting, I look over at Nikki, and her eyes are like rolling back in her head. Nope. And she's trying so hard to keep them open. Her head is rocking back and forth. Do you ever just get you just can't shake it? Yeah. You just can't shake it off. And like you mentioned, experiencing the same thing. We had heard about a lot of this stuff in the meeting already, and so, but yet it was still a good meeting to have for everybody else. We needed to be a part of it. We needed to, but when you're in that the worst of it, and you just can't shake off that that feeling you have, and I was having that. It's like wavering back and forth, like kind of rocking her eyes. You can see when you see somebody that's trying to keep their eyes open, so their eyes get really big, and it was just like, what do they call it? The 100-yard stare where she's like, I felt like I was trying too hard to not look like I was not trying to fall asleep. I didn't start laughing at first, but the thing was I started watching you for a while, and so it wasn't just that moment. It was not just a moment. Do you think anybody else noticed? I don't think anybody did. If they didn't know what was going on, you knew what was going on. I burst out laughing. I got to a point where I couldn't hold it. Then Nikki started laughing. Then we both started laughing, and then we were disruptive to the meeting. Is there something you'd like to share with the rest of the class, Amazing Larry? No. It was oh, sorry. And then you can't explain to everybody because it just doesn't work. It's here, I didn't see anybody else up this early this morning, so yeah. And she just can't keep her eyes open. I wish you guys could have been there. I wish I could have taken pictures of it so I could have shared it just so everybody would know what Nikki goes through for you. Do you know what, though? What? When I couldn't keep my eyes open, I was having trouble, and you just couldn't shake it. Yeah. And then we started laughing. And then you're wide awake. Miraculously, right after, I was like, I'm not tired anymore. So that's all I needed. I mean, in fairness, I think that might have been the moments where Chris was sharing some highly technical details. I was laughing. I was like, stop it. I couldn't stop it. I can't handle it. Oh, apologies.
Apologies to everybody.
I love Chris. He's our broadcast engineer, but I got to tell you, sometimes when he starts telling us about
Well, and we also knew all those details already. So, again, it's very hard when you're in a meeting and you've been over all the things before, but you're in a meeting for other people to make sure they know it.
Hey, guys, can we turn this meeting more into like a show? Does anybody have a good story? And then we'll slide some technical details in with the outro.
Who wants a food fight?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
That's just how the meeting was.
Did anybody bring like some weird chips we could be eating while we're talking about the VMix settings?
So, I was awake, though, after.
Oh, you were still awake. I never saw you actually asleep.
The Riot. Turn it down.
And rip the knob off.
RadioU.
Everybody's looking for cheap airfare. Okay? I mean, there is probably some strata of society that is like, oh, I never think about what it costs. I just go where I will. They exist, but they're not me. And if they're you, can we trade places?
Yeah, no, but for most people, you are, when you go to book airfare, you're checking all the airlines, you're, seeing what's going to be the cheapest time to fly, what day is going to be cheaper. It's just what we do.
You're like Delta, United, Cheapskate. Ooh, they sound good.
I'll take them. And then you wonder why you have any problems when you do fly with them.
Oh, why do I have to sign a release that there's no seat belts? That's weird. Oh, well, it's fine. And there's no chairs. Oh, wow.
Hey, I wouldn't mind for some flights. You'd rather be standing.
Actually, there are times when I've thought it better 3 hours standing. But then again, what are you going to do? You immediately want a seat.
Yeah, well, if you're standing, you just can't be happy.
Well, in Iceland, they had a budget airline called WOW.
I've never heard of it before.
I think I have, mostly because of the planes. The planes are purple, and they're painted with like big white letters, WOW.
Yeah.
So they were apparently really well known for inexpensive international travel.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Remember how MoviePass was this really inexpensive way to make movies, but somebody at to go to the movies, but somebody at MoviePass was like, oh, I forgot, we have to make money too. That's kind of what happened to WOW Airlines. So yesterday they announced to everybody, hey, flights are delayed. And then several hours later, they were like, just kidding.
Not delayed.
All flights are canceled.
They shut down.
So think about this. You take an international flight to, let's say you fly to Europe, and you're on your way home.
You paid the WOW prices to get there.
To get there and to come home.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. You're not coming home.
Not with them, you're not.
Not on WOW Airlines, anyway. You're done.
You know how sad that would be? You budgeted, like that was the money. And I don't know, like, if you're getting refunded your money right away or if there's a mess on that end.
That's not happening.
So you need to now get back internationally, or you're traveling just over there, like that's where you live, and now you have to pay some other airline, which is not going to be sympathetic.
No.
You're paying the price you didn't want to pay in the first place, which is why you went with them.
They're like, you should have come to us first.
And now you're in a mess. Even though I saw so many like news things where they're like, people are stranded and stuck. I'm like, no, you're not. You just have to buy another airline's ticket. So you're not technically stranded. You're just not wanting to, like, it's not working out.
Nikki, do you remember earlier we were like, the airlines aren't very sympathetic? Mm-hmm. They sound like that.
Well, I know, but that's more of a knock on the news sites.
What you just said was like, what? Stop being a baby, buy a ticket.
No, the news organizations are making it seem like they'll never leave. They're stuck forever. And it's like, no, it's unfortunate. You have to just go with another airline. That's how you have to get home. It's not going to change.
It's not. What was that Tom Hanks movie where like he lived in the airport?
Oh, yeah. Terminal.
You know what? It's not that. You're going
to have to
get a credit card if you don't have the money.
And it's not right.
It's not right.
But that's how you're going to have to get home.
That's a bummer.
Yes, it is.
It's a bummer.
And they had purple planes. I love purple.
Well, here's the thing I'm starting to realize. The nicer the plane looks, the more likely there's no way they're going to make it. Because
just a cover.
What was it? What was that one company I flew with?
Frontier?
Was it Frontier? No, Frontier's still around. Like, that's still a thing. They got because they're Frontier and Alaskan and Horizon. It's like all one business thing.
But they always put stuff on they used to put stuff on their planes.
On the tails, yeah.
ValueJet?
Skybus? Airbus? Something bus. All right? And I flew them, and actually, it was a great experience. And they had these really cool looking planes. And they were all brand new planes. So you got on there and you were like,
too much, did they?
What the heck?
Why is this so cheap?
This is awesome. And then, of course, I only got to fly them one time. But it was a good experience while it lasted.
Well, I do feel bad. I mean, imagine you spent all that money to go over there and maybe they haven't given you your money back and, it's difficult.
Yeah, you're not getting it back. I'll tell you what's going to happen. You're going to be part of a, class action lawsuit. And you're probably in 10 to 15 years going to get a check for $1.50 in the mail.
Because that's what everybody gets when you divide it between that.
That's how it works.
I don't feel like a company should be able to do that. I would think they'd have to say, all right, we're no longer accepting reservations or you can't buy an airline ticket, but we're going to work through a certain point and then close down. But they don't care.
I don't know how that works. I mean, in fairness, when Toys R Us went up, I lost a gift card.
Yeah, but Toys R Us gave you 6 months notice.
You know what, Nikki? It's the same. I was stranded in a toy aisle with no
way to get out.
No recompense.
That is not what happened.
Leftovers from the most disgusting meal you've ever had. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Boy, I got to tell you. Sure could go for a churro donut.
And doesn't it look pretty good? I like churros. I like donuts, so I should like the combination.
I think we've established on this show that donuts are welcome here.
Yes, they are.
I feel like we have, over the years, been pretty transparent about that, and here we've got, but, the other side of that is Taco Bell is not really welcome here.
See, I don't mind Taco Bell.
I know, but Nikki, that's just your ignorance talking.
Is it?
It is.
One of us
is enlightened. Yeah, and one day, you're gonna, grow up and get a little wiser, and you're gonna look back and go, "Oh, those crazy adolescent years when I would eat Taco Bell with wild abandon."
Listen, I'm fine with it.
If only I could have. I could have lived longer if only I'd stopped the Taco Bell sooner. Well, but it's never too late
to change.
To stop Taco Bell.
Well, if you're a fan of Taco Bell and if you're a fan of churros and donuts, and if you're also in the Kansas City area, if you meet all those qualifiers, then you're good to go because they are testing a
churro
donut, which a lot of people are saying is in competition with the McDonald's donut sticks that they've just released.
Hey, man, those McDonald's donut sticks are pretty good.
They were pretty good, yeah.
It's kind of like this. If you were, looking for something sweet and doughy.
Well, then why would you be you have to go to a local donut place for that.
You're absolutely right. But, Nikki, remember, you're drinking McDonald's coffee, which means you've got a real good enough thing going in your life.
This is also to go against Dunkin' Donuts. They have their donut fries. So
I
now
still haven't had those.
Taco Bell is expected to that. It looks like they are $1 for the donut. And I don't know if you get more than one, but not sure.
$1. And then, did you say McDonald's, a 6-pack of sticks?
Yeah, they have that.
$1.49.
And then the Dunkin' Donut fries are usually around $2.
Don't you think the Dunkin' Donut ones are probably better?
Well,
probably because they're donut people.
I think they know what they're doing maybe more. Because it's hard. When you go to do a fast food place and it's outside of the norm for them, you are dealing with people still have to be trained and they're kind of working their way through it. So I don't know.
And they're getting trained in the same way Nikki was getting trained in that meeting yesterday. They're trying
sleeping through it.
They're trying to stay awake. They're trying to pay attention, but they're so
No, but I was wondering with Taco Bell, I used to like Del Taco has churro sticks, and then it would come with a little chocolate dipping sauce. Mm-hmm. So is there a dipping sauce that comes with this, or are they plain?
I don't see anything in here that says dipping sauce.
Taco Bell might want to think about that if they go nationwide, but for right now, this is just in Kansas City.
I need to stop looking at this picture. I haven't had breakfast. I'm hungry.
Eat me.
It looks pretty dang good, guys.
Go to the break room, see what's in there.
I'm going to. I'm going to warm up my coffee, maybe get some of those peanut butter pretzels we got.
The riot used to be 3 people.
Please tell me we're not discussing video games again.
The other guy didn't make it. It's the riot.
Now, Nikki, you've heard of TGI Fridays.
I have. It's been a while. The one near us closed down.
Did it?
It did a while ago.
And I didn't even notice.
That's because we weren't going.
The last time I went to TGI Fridays was for Michael's birthday lunch 5 years ago.
I know some of the places like TGI Fridays are always like, yeah, you can go during lunch, and we promise you're in and out during your lunch window.
It's a 4-hour lunch.
It never happens.
And the food's not that good. It's a 4-hour lunch. And what I love is you either get one of two things where they're just like, what? So what? You just have to go back to work. What do you care? Or you've got the overly apologetic. Like, I'm so sorry. This system's all messed up.
Yeah, something's wrong, and it just happens to be the time, and so we just don't go there as often.
No, Nikki, we've digressed.
Yes.
Okay, let's bring it back. TGI Fridays. Not just in a restaurant, but in the local aisles of your grocery store.
I've seen these. It's the potato skin snacks. So if you go to, the potato chip aisle, they have like sour cream and onion or cheddar and bacon, different flavors of what is like their appetizer for potato skins.
Mm-hmm. Here's the problem. A lady by the name of Solange is suing TGI Fridays. And the reason she's doing that is she says that TGI Fridays potato skins that you will find in the grocery aisle, she says that it's basically like false advertising.
She says that they don't actually contain the skins of a potato.
Right. So the argument is this, that this goes deep, right? The Idaho Potato Commission have been for the last 50 years saying that potato skins are a healthy thing to eat because they say there's extra vitamins and fiber and like all this stuff in the skin of a potato. She's alleging that since TGI Fridays is saying those are potato skins, that she can, via the transitive property perhaps, claim that those are a healthy snack because potato skins are healthy for you. But now that she's discovered that there's no actual potato skins
in the potato skin snacks,
then she's starting up a class action lawsuit saying, hey.
So basically, it has potato flakes and potato starch, but they're saying no actual potato skins in them.
And they're basically Pringles, which is like reconstituted potato.
Pretty much.
It's not, you're not getting hey, we sliced up a potato and brought it factory direct to you.
I feel like, there's not potato skins in this. I guess that she has a point with that. But when you make a class action lawsuit like she's doing, it just feels like she's one of those chasers who's trying to find a way to start a class action lawsuit and get money out of it, which people do.
Yeah.
They're just always trying to find a company to sue for something.
Well, she got one. Feels like she just wandered through the grocery store looking.
I was just picking, yeah.
He was like, oh, yeah, for the last
She's trolling Reddit just to see forums of people who, are making complaints about companies, and she's going and doing the class action thing.
She's in there like, for the last 10 years, I've been feeding my children these potato skins, expecting them to get the nutrients they need to grow strong and healthy. So now I'm suing you for false advertisement, and I'm also suing you for child abuse, child endangerment, and lost wages because of the health care they're going to need because they've been surviving on these fake potato skins for years.
And no skins and just potato starch.
I know one thing for sure. I'm entitled to no less than $25 million in compensation.
Well, if you feel you're a lot like her and you're mad, that's what she's trying to do.
Boom. I hope she makes $1 billion and gives me 10.
No, that's not fair. When they do these things, then that's why you're like, why is my lunch or my dinner so expensive? I mean, we lose out. Everybody else loses out.
You know what? Here's where I'm at. I'm of two minds on this. On the one hand, I'm like, oh, shut up already. But then on the other, I'm like, we are constantly being thrown things that are fake. So them calling these potato skins, like, how excited would you be if you walked down the chip aisle and they were like, TGI Fridays, reconstituted potato flakes, flavored with bacon, whatever. What if products had to tell us what they were instead of selling it to us?
That'll never happen.
It won't, but it would be kind of awesome.
Peter, thank you for texting. Says next she'll sue veggie straws because they barely contain veggies. That's the truth.
Julie says, wouldn't it be cheaper to buy a 5-pound bag of real potatoes if you wanted to eat healthy?
Hey, also with her little logic of like, I thought they'd be healthy if I had them because they were having potato skins in it. That doesn't work.
She knows.
That's not how that goes.
I'll tell you this, though. I want some of these, cheddar tater skins.
That looks good.
Well, it looks pretty good to me right now.
So that's a class action lawsuit. Someone's mad at TGI Fridays.
You're hearing it for the first time, and it sounds terrible.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Hey, did anybody catch the fact that they announced a new Borderlands yesterday?
They did?
Borderlands 3?
Back to the border?
Nikki,
what?
I can't reach you, but if I could.
You want a high five?
I do.
Or you want a pat on the back, or do you want to
Borderlands
hit me because it's bad?
That's, you know what? Can we have a threefer?
Yeah, you can do all of them.
I want to pat you on the back, high five you, and smack you.
All at the same time. There you go.
So, yeah, they announced that yesterday. And word on the street is going to be awesome. I don't know. If you want to know the truth, I didn't take a real deep look at it.
Did you like the other one?
I had a very long week with Borderlands, the original. I played it like crazy for a week and then barely went back to it. Borderlands 2, same thing. I played it really intensely and then just
dropped it.
Stopped playing it. Yeah. So, but
looks like if projections are true, Obi for Borderlands 3 will be very aggressive with it for 1 week and then drop it.
So here's what we got. The other thing they're doing is next week, April 3rd, Borderlands is getting an Ultra HD texture pack. So if you have the Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, it's going to, you'll get that bump on all of them. And then also if you have it on the PC, same deal. You'll get this kind of updated whatever.
Well, Nate's excited. He just texted Borderlands 3, the hype is real, and the trailer was wow.
Okay.
So Nate's excited.
You know what? I wasn't blown away, but you know what? I just feel like I'm getting more and more ho-hum about life.
And that's just seeping into games?
It's just seeping into
games and movies?
Well, actually, you know what part of it is? Real talk, Nate. I'm excited about it, too, because I definitely want to play it. But I find myself I want to go home and play The Division 2. I'm not done with that yet.
It seems like when you are currently focused on an amazing game that you like a lot, and news about other new games, you can't even...
Well,
you can't even get excited, even though it's not even out yet.
I get annoyed at the new game thing because I'm just man, I haven't gotten to the old one yet. Don't get me hyped about the new one. I'm focused right now, okay? I'm dating somebody, and yes, I'll break up with them, and we can go out in the fall. But right now, I'm on my spring fling, okay?
Dan in Indiana texted, says, super excited for BL3, Borderlands 3. Love that the graphics look almost exactly the same. Obi, get it on PS4, and you can play with him and his buddy.
You know what? I feel like I've had a few people in the last week. They're like, hey, man, play with us on PS4. Not just Borderlands, but The Division, a couple of other things. That's the one that I don't pay for the online service.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't have PlayStation PSN, PlayStation Plus, whatever, because you have to pay to play online. And I have a PlayStation 4, but I'm just nobody ever actually wants to play with me on this thing.
They want to play maybe once a week so you can pace yourself and not burn out on it.
Okay.
So it seems like Dan has a practical plan.
That's where that's where Nick and I kind of are with Division 2. He and I on the weekends, he and I have been playing a couple of times and, just taking our time. Just there for the fun, Nikki.
That's it. No pressure.
And no power leveling, no race to the end, just enjoying the journey. That's what I'm trying to do. Just enjoy the journey.
That's what you guys do. Of course you do.
You've got to hand it to Obadiah and Nikki. Anyone can eat junk food all day.
Where's my food?
But they've figured out a way to get paid for it. The Riot on RadioU.
I signed up for Sprint a week or 2 weeks ago, and I got this email from them that says, we'd like to hear from you. I'm thinking about printing it out and just taking it to the Sprint store and being like, hey, guys, I'm here.
You said you wanted to hear from me.
You guys said you wanted to hear from me. Do you want
you're taking it literally.
Do you guys want to get lunch? Or, do you just want to hang out in the back? What do you want to do?
That's not what they meant.
That's not what they meant?
You're so new in on it that they know that you probably haven't had a chance to hate them yet, and they want to get those positive feelings on record before
that's fair.
You move into, being with them for a full year. And that's when you normally start to not like a company.
Well, look, corporate overlords are big fat liars. When Nikki and I say we want to hear from you, we mean it.
We do want to hear from you.
So you can text us at 877-2RadioU. You can call us there as well. Melissa says...
She's so sweet.
Nikki... How was the morning workout today?
So this was my first full week of working out before the show.
Mm-hmm.
Not after, not in the afternoon, not in the evening, but I get up at 4 a.m. and I go before.
Uh-huh.
And I was proud to say I did all 5 days.
Good for you.
And I'm fine with it.
In general, it's been okay.
It's way better to have it out of the way and done with than trying to make it happen later in the day and not doing it.
How much earlier did you go to bed? The one night you said almost an hour and a half early.
I am going to bed around 10 o'clock, which is early for me.
Is very early.
Because normally I go to bed around 11:30, which is terrible. I hardly get any sleep during the week, but I've been going to bed early. Dude. Actually, I'll just be there and I'm like, I'm watching a show or something, and I start to doze off and just drop my phone. So I was like, I'm going to bed. Just go to bed. So I realize I have to.
So you know what, Nikki? We're almost on the same schedule now.
We are?
Are you
bed a little earlier?
Between 9:30 and 10.
9:30 and 10?
Yeah. I like during the winter, I can usually fall asleep earlier than that. But like once spring hits.
It's hard. It's so light out still.
I can't get to sleep at any earlier than that. But yeah, 9:30 and 10 and then up. I get up at 4:10 usually. And get my stuff together and go to the gym. So
that's where we're on the same schedule.
We're on the right path,
Yay!
Nikki. And have you guys noticed how much healthier we've been this week?
I think we sound healthier, don't we?
Sure we do.
Of course we do.
Big time.
Well, mostly because we got over...
Everybody can tell.
Mostly because we got over those sinus infections. And
that too?
We were just sick a couple of weeks ago.
Ooh, like I'm just going to throw this out there, okay?
Yeah.
I was going through some old RIOT material. Circa like 2000, I don't know, whenever. But like when you go back and listen to old RIOT stuff, I always forget this. Since my sinus surgery, my voice is different.
Is it?
Oh yeah. Like I always sound like I have a stuffy nose.
But now you don't?
Right. I mean, maybe you guys think I do, but I don't. Okay.
Maybe you're a new listener. It used to be way worse sounding.
Man, you wouldn't believe it. If you heard the old stuff, you'd be like, man, is he sick? No, he sounds like that all the time. It's weird. So,
well, thank you, Melissa, for the sweet text message to see how it was going for the week.
Yes, indeed. So you guys text us as well. Say what's up, 877-2-RADIO-U. Like I said, you can call us at that number. We'll answer, but everybody's afraid of an actual phone call. I get it. I don't like making them either.
Your morning, but without yelling, laughing, or music.
Don't deprive me of that.
We wouldn't dream of it. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Are you a smoker? Guess what? The world hates you. Except for the tobacco companies. They're the only ones that know what it's like to be you.
They kind of, have that position in society.
I do feel like being a smoker has got to suck on some level because everywhere you go, people are like, not here.
No, I think it depends on if you do smoke, you must know the places where it's more acceptable.
Right.
And different cities and states are obviously, they vary in it.
You go to a smoking area.
Yeah.
Right? Well, guess what?
Or, like restaurants or places that are more sympathetic to it, to where everybody's just there.
Now, a lot of times people who do smoke, when they get really stressed out, it's like, man, I need a cigarette. And I've got to tell you, I don't smoke, but I don't think there's anywhere on earth that I would probably need a cigarette more
than Disney?
Than going to Disney World.
How can you afford a pack? You just paid so much to get into Disney.
Oh, look, they have little Mickeys on them.
That's when you got to stop smoking so you have money to save up money to go on vacation.
I'm over there hanging out in the smoking area, smoking. It's like, you don't smoke. I know, but I got to have something. Disney's killing me.
It's like that meme that was going around. Or not the meme, but just the... with the new Star Wars stuff coming out, and it shows you like a father, the father and the kid, and there's no one around as they go hand in hand to go check out the new attraction, and then the real picture of like 50 billion people there, and you're just being shoved.
Oh my gosh.
So, it's a stressful place.
It is a stressful place, and they have just announced that they're removing all the smoking areas. So no more smoking in Disney parks.
In Disney parks? Are you supposed to like...
They're removing the smoking areas.
Can you go on the water?
Smoke on the water?
Like, is that international waters?
Oh my gosh.
Is it not like rules don't apply?
I don't know. The other thing that they're doing is they'll no longer allow dry ice for your cooler, and stroller sizes are being limited. They say that they will no longer allow stroller wagons or any kind of oversized stroller.
Okay.
I don't know what that
is, but we'll take your word on it.
But as far as Disney's concerned, if you own an oversized stroller, you're just as big of a menace as a smoker.
And a dry icer?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Lord in heaven help you if you smoke and you have an oversized stroller.
You're not getting in.
Double whammy.
You're a terrible person.
You're out.
You're not allowed in.
Banhammer.
So they used to have smoking areas, but now they're just taking away that.
Bing.
But you can leave the park. So then I guess what you have to do is if you need to smoke, you leave the park.
That's exactly right.
Then you come back in.
There will be smoking areas outside of the park. So you go, it only took you an hour to get through the line, inside, you get in whatever. And so if you want a cigarette, you just walk another half hour across the park.
Yeah, but then
go
that's a
outside.
shame. That just means that at the entrance to Disney, to all the parks, will just be nothing but smoking.
Nah, like they'll have, but the thing is, like, you can't just smoke out in front of the park. They've got designated smoking areas. So I imagine 30 minutes through the park, another 30 minutes to the smoking area, get yourself a cigarette, and then about an hour and a half to get back in.
Well, I bet deep down they probably just want to keep it out of the park, keep it clean in the park, and not have to clean up in those areas, all the stuff.
I'm sure. Like, it's rough.
And they don't want the wagons. So.
And again, I'm not a smoker, but I don't know why I feel this way, but I always just see these rules against someone. I don't want to breathe your secondhand smoke. I don't. Like, real talk. Not interested in it. At the same time, I feel a little sorry for you because, like, slowly but surely, society is just hanging up a big "you're not welcome" sign.
You just can't come.
They got you addicted to a legally addictive substance, and they're like, but don't come over here because you're the worst.
So did Disney say when that starts, or has it already happened?
May 1st.
May 1st.
So, hey, let me tell you what. The month of April, it's going to be Smoke Fest 2019 at Disney parks.
And bring your wagons. You don't even have one, but go get one.
Get yourself an oversized stroller and load it down with cartons of cigarettes, man.
And go to the smoking section. Be like, I have till May 1st. You can't do anything about this.
What you going to do about it?
That's our bad attitude when it comes to rules and regulations. There's no reason why we should be that way.
I love the idea of doing that, but again, I don't want to smoke.
If we had a season pass, we would do that.
You remember that time you started your morning with a gas station breakfast sandwich and immediately regretted it? Yeah, it's like that. The Riot. RadioU.
I love when there are these old stories about, like, this, something that happened in the whatever, and they finally figure out what it is. This is a weird one. You're French, and you're taking a walk on the beach, and all of a sudden, an orange phone washes up.
And it looks like Garfield, the cat.
There was this beach in France in the 80s that no one knew why, but they kept having Garfield plastic phones washing up on the beach.
There was always a weird mystery. Everybody was wondering, like, where did these things come from?
And you know what? Before we explain the mystery, let's see what it would take for you and I to put ourselves in a Garfield phone today. Now, keep in mind,
if you're in France, not that much.
Yeah, you just go to the beach.
I mean, you just go to the beach and pick one up.
Dude, this Garfield phone is awesome. Like, when you put the phone down, he closes his eyes like he's sleeping, and when you pick it up, he opens his eyes. Nikki, we got to get one of these for the studio.
I don't know if those would work with our equipment. Like, I feel like our phones are not just phones, you know? They do a little bit more. So it might be a vanity phone just off in the corner.
That's fine. You know what? Oh, my gosh. Vanity phone. Remind me.
Okay. I'll remind you.
You just sparked something
I did?
that we should talk about.
Okay, I'll tell you about it.
Back to these beach phones that they were finding. I don't understand how, with all the technology and everything we have, how is it that something like this happens and we don't know where the Garfield phones are coming from? Well, they never did. And then there's a local farmer that basically figured out where they're coming from.
I mean, this was a big mystery in that area. Everybody always wondered what was the cause. Like, was someone doing a joke, or what was it?
He found a shipping container that basically got stuck in an underwater cave. It wasn't underwater at first, but, like, it has gotten buried and all this stuff.
So so often, the Garfield phones in the shipping container would come out.
They would wash out.
And they'd wash out and wash up on the beach.
And so at this point, they pretty much decided the way it's become lodged in there, it's not worth fixing or doing anything about. They're just like, we're just going to leave it there. But that shipping container was full of Garfield phones.
Isn't that weird?
So, talk to your grandma. If she ordered a Garfield phone in the early 80s, I want you to know
it might be there.
It's in the reason she never got it. It's in France. It's waiting on her.
I doubt back then they had, like, tracking, but wouldn't it be funny if you're like, it still shows, like, in transit?
In transit. You look it up.
It's like 20 years later.
Expected delivery.
Never, ever, because it's underwater.
Yeah. You know what? It's found its final resting place.
Well, the area has closure now. They know, like, the mystery of these Garfield phones.
And now I want one. I want a Garfield phone.
Turn it up loud enough and your neighbors will call the cops. Because it's obviously a cry for help. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
If you missed it, they just solved the 30-year mystery of where the Garfield phones are coming from on a beach in France.
And that led us to talk about vanity phones, because we couldn't use a phone like that in our studios. Our phones, work with other things. And
it's fancy.
And they're fancier phones. And
pretentious phones.
Yeah, we don't.
Self-important phones.
We don't need, that would have been a home phone. That'd be your only phone back in the day when that would have come out.
Right. Well,
30 years ago.
You'd have maybe a couple scattered around the house, right?
Yeah, but it would be a home phone. And here, it would just sit in the corner. But I don't think we could have it actually work.
You look at it and you're like, well, where's the screen to find out who's calling?
I know. It's how do I know how to ignore this call?
Hey, that right up, straight up, that is something I think about all the time. Is back in the day, the phone would ring and people would just answer it. They didn't know who was on the other end. They had no idea. Nothing. It was just...
They must not have had spams or bots back then, though.
Well, no, but there was telemarketing.
Do you think the telemarketers would call like that?
I know that's a thing because I know a guy that used to do telemarketing.
Even back then?
Yeah, well, I guess I don't know what years it was, but he's probably 20 or 30 years older than we are. And how did we get on that? I don't know. I ran into him somewhere and we were talking and he told me how he used to be a telemarketer. So, that's the thing.
A tale as old as time.
Song as old as rhyme.
But what about it brought up vanity phones and you said, you had something.
Okay, remember when everybody condoed for a whole week? I never condoed as in watched Marie Kondo on the show, but probably...
Did you read the book?
No. But mid-January, I don't know if I was bored or what, but I was just that's it. I'm clearing out. So
I think you ended up seeing everybody else's postings who was doing Marie Kondo stuff.
So I went in this room where I had a bunch of storage stuff, and I had those big tubs, containers, and I went from 9 to 2. So, I cleared out a ton of stuff. And in the middle of all of that, I found something that my mom bought me that has been in a box forever, and I forgot I had it. I have a Star Trek Enterprise phone.
You do?
Yep.
What are you going to do with it?
I have no idea. At first, I was like, ooh, it's going to be worth... No, it's not.
It's not. Did you check?
Yeah, it's on eBay for $30.
Well, still, that's $30.
It didn't seem worth
$30 more than you have?
Okay, now that's true.
Could that buy you a game?
Oh, don't start down that road. We'll never get back.
Just telling you.
We'll never get
back. That was the whole point, with cleaning out stuff. I mean, yes, it's work to sell it, but even if it gets you $30 or $40.
I thought to myself that what I might do with it, it's a little phone that looks like the Enterprise, right, from Star Trek. I'm thinking, display piece, like a museum.
You are.
Yeah, just pull out of the box, set it out.
Were you going to display it at your home stuff, or?
I guess in my basement.
Your basement?
Whatever. I got all kinds of weird crap out down there. This is one more weird thing.
All right. Well, if not, you could still sell it locally. Why don't you try to locally sell it?
Okay. If you're listening right now and you want to buy it, $100. Talk me down. You got to start high.
Offer.
You got to start high.
Well, tell us again, is it that's way high. It's an Enterprise phone.
But, Nikki, it is a home phone in an age of no one wanting a home phone.
Correct. No one wants it for that use, but let someone else set it out on their desk.
Okay, I see.
They can have it for a showpiece.
Someone that works for AT&T and they have a little museum of phones.
Yeah, something like that. A collection for someone else. Do you need the mess?
I'll tell you what. It's in great shape, almost like it's never been used.
Because you never used it.
Shh. What if my mom's listening?
Your mom, well, she'd be glad to know you still have it.
I did hook it up, not now, but back in the day. And when it would ring, the reason I didn't use it is because the ring was some kind of an alarm klaxon. It was and so the phone would ring. You're like, ah!
I can see that. That being it, was there no setting on it to turn it down?
No.
No? Okay.
That's my Darth Vader alarm clock that I had. It has, and that I just bought that last year. It only has one alarm sound and one volume, and it is terrifying.
Well, yeah, it's got to be intimidating. It's Darth Vader.
It doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be.
My phone in the morning, it's ding, ding, ding. Da, 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 da. Ding, ding, ding.
Wake up, Obi.
Da, 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 da. So it doesn't have to be terrifying.
Yeah, but that's just, it doesn't have as many settings. So Why don't you? Okay,
darn Skippy.
You ready?
And that must have been why it was on clearance.
I'm gonna leave it at this. Why don't you do this? Locally try to sell the enterprise phone that you have, that you found when you were cleaning out.
Yeah.
And bundle it with your Darth Vader alarm clock. Put them together and send them out into the world.
I think I sold that already.
Oh, you did? If not, that's how you can get some money out of it. Bundling. That's why all the companies want us to bundle.
What, the idea of bundling phone with something, no one ever wants the phone bundle.
Yeah, but they're not going to want the phone and they're not going to want the alarm clock. But together, they might want both of them to set out together.
Guys,
do you like both stars things?
I have the best stuff.
No wonder it was in a tub.
Believe it or not, the Riot doesn't have an endorsement deal with Nabisco. They just keep talking about all the new Oreo flavors for free. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Lots of people texting with phone stories, which we appreciate. But I have to now ask a more pressing question.
Important question?
Yeah, something that has really snuck up on us here, which technically it's sneaked, but I still say snuck. I don't care. It's regional, I guess. You know what, you grammar people?
Snooked.
Little snooker.
Little snooker.
You send something to the booth, and we're very appreciative.
No, but what is more pressing?
All right, Nikki, it's March 29th.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is February 14th.
Uh-huh.
Every year.
Yeah.
Now, where are we at on a piece of Valentine's candy that I just found?
You're still totally fine.
Think
as
so?
long as it was for this Valentine's and not the year before, which can happen. The candy at the bottom can still keep being at the bottom.
I don't have any way to know.
It's fine.
You think so?
Yeah. Is that from the dish out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't normally eat candy from the candy dish, but
we have a community candy dish that just appeared one day.
Yeah.
On the table, but we don't always eat from it.
Here's the thing, is that as I was walking past it, and I must have been looking at it like a loser, because...
Where's that? Why? It's not a loser thing.
It is, because I'm seeking happiness in chocolate.
No, you're having a little candy. It's antioxidant.
I saw this Dove chocolate piece on the top, and I got to tell you.
You got a thing for Dove chocolate?
Oh, it's good.
You like it?
Yeah.
Is it dark chocolate or?
No, it was milk chocolate.
Chocolate.
It's delicious, actually. So,
is there more?
No, it's the last one.
Okay, yeah, the last one.
That's actually why I took it, because I was like, you know what?
You deserve it?
Oh, no, I don't deserve it.
Yes, you do.
I don't deserve it, Nikki.
You don't deserve this delicious piece of chocolate.
I've done nothing to deserve anything good.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Still, I have been granted this treat. And you know what? It was delicious. And if it makes me sick, it was worth it.
You're fine.
It was all worth it. So, but you think it's okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Hey, does anybody else have any Valentine's candy they're not using? You just want to drop it by?
Any of those?
Or do you just have any Dove chocolate at all?
No, you're supposed to be going into the Easter stuff now. We should be getting Easter candy for the Easter candy dish.
Okay, you know what? I did have a Cadbury cream egg the other day. My mom got me one, which, thanks, Mom. And do you know how sometimes you get a cream egg and it's like it didn't set right, so it's all weird inside?
A Cadbury cream egg?
Yeah.
I can't tell you if I've actually had a Cadbury cream egg. I just know I don't like them. So
okay.
I don't know about the different setting styles.
I don't know.
I know. I'm sure I had one when I was younger. And
I just know I don't like them.
I'm sure I had one when I was younger, and that led to the decision that I don't ever want to eat one again.
See, I think it's
time for us. But I can't recall the time that started.
I think it's time for us to put your grown-up taste buds on a Cadbury egg.
And try it again.
Because I something inside, honestly, when I was a kid, my dad loved them, and I was like, Dad, this is trash. What are we doing with this, Dad? And now I've turned into my dad.
You're eating all that.
Dude, they're good.
Yeah, but I feel like Cadbury and like Peeps, I don't like Easter candy.
Oh, I don't like Peeps either. They are trash.
Those are. You haven't grown out of that.
Real.
That's real.
That's real. They're like, hey, what if we painted a marshmallow? Would you like it then?
Rachel, thanks for texting. Since still have leftover Christmas candy, is that acceptable? Absolutely. If you're within a year window, I think you're fine.
Man, I'm still eating Christmas cookies.
Candy's
what are you talking about?
It's not going to go bad anytime soon.
Yeah. So, all right. You know what that means? Candy for everyone.
If it's not a year old.
Like I'm supposed to know. There's no date on this.
Don't they put something on there?
No. Oh, do they?
Nikki and Obadiah. Obadiah and Nikki.
Love, hate, hate, love.
All right, everyone in, let's go.
It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Just going to throw this one out there. How about the movie Labyrinth?
Labyrinth?
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. 1986.
Right on topic, I guess. Picking all the old stuff.
Well, I have been watching old movies, though.
Yeah, but that's not as old as I think you're picking. I always thought you're picking like 60s.
I've done movies
50s
from the
and 60s.
I've done movies from the 30s and 40s. A couple times over the last couple weeks.
You did Casablanca?
Yes, I did, and I picked up. It was only $5. Don't judge me. The Poseidon Adventure, 1972. And that's supposed to come today, and I'm planning on watching it this weekend, which means I won't touch it.
So are you looking for a new era or something? Or
no, I'm just looking through. Okay, I got a weird thing for. Is it fair to call it weird?
No, I don't think so. That's just what you're doing, though. You're just going through old movies.
I love watching old films that have been restored, right? Okay, so Labyrinth was recently given a 4K restoration.
And Danny just texted and said yes, so he's in.
I remember seeing it once, like a while, like when I was a kid, I think, and hating it.
Well, then why are you interested in it now? Are you just curious?
Because now I'm a grown-up, and I think I might be able to enjoy it. Versus, like, I can remember...
Because it's in 4K, or...?
No. But, I mean, like, it's just one of those... Like, don't you know there's stuff when you're a kid that, like, you can't appreciate it?
No, I don't think I appreciated most things when I was a kid. You know, if you grow up with a little kid bad attitude... So everything would be up for good or for grabs on that.
Now, Jared says, if you like cheesy movies, watch Buckaroo Banzai on Amazon. Jared...
What is that?
I've already done it.
Is that on Prime?
Yep.
Okay.
It is.
Is it a space movie? Or is it a cowboy movie?
Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
It sounds like an anime.
Is what I will tell you right now that they should make an anime of it because it feels like anime.
That's what it should
when
be?
You watch it. Yeah, and when you watch it, it's got the guy from RoboCop, and it's going to turn into a whole thing as I explained it to you. Let's just
end it there.
Let's just go ahead and stop.
All right,
because we're going to
end
up going down a whole road here.
He's already seen it.
All right. So, yeah, I did see it. And, hey, you know what? If you guys have got an old cheesy movie, especially one that's been recently restored, please feel free to get back to me.
Yeah, but you guys need to text ones that are like on Prime or Netflix.
You mean ones that...
I don't think you should be spending any money on this project.
I'm not... I haven't. Well, I mean...
You bought
I paid
Poseidon.
Yes, but that's fine. It's $5, Nikki.
If you keep adding up, I'm just saying it helps if you guys suggest movies that are already free.
Well, with these old movies, I should probably just go to the library.
Oh, actually, good call. Or use the digital library one.
Hoopla.
Is that it? Hoopla?
That's how I watched Disney's The Black Hole.
These are so random.
I watched that.
Yeah,
on
you
Hoopla.
could use that. You could use that program.
And you know what? They are random, but I keep stumbling across like old movies where I'm like, Disney's The Black Hole. I also hated that when I was a kid and hated it as an adult.
Well, that's not one then that changed.
I liked the score, though, and I did enjoy the production design was spectacular.
Really? Was it?
The movie? Once you get the movie's even good until you get halfway through it and you're like, I hate it here.
Well, then it changed. All right, well, if anybody has any suggestions... Text or email.
Of course, the other option is I could go see Us this weekend.
You could see a more current
Something
movie.
New.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.